So let's start to talk about the space in between. Today, I would like to invite you to rediscover and reclaim this space that I think we all lost in the process of living in these modern and uncertain times. I'm a professional artist painter and a creative art director. And while my works have graced many galleries and collectors' places, and my creative work helped small and big companies achieve some marketing targets, for me, it was never really about that. It was never about awards, about academia. Most likely, those two professions, they emerged as the sanctuary from the horrors of the life offerings. So today it's going to be a little bit about everything together and the space in between, which I think it has really big importance for all of us. So I'll start with fast show of hands because it's going to be a good breaker for everybody. I'll ask a couple of questions, and after that, we're going to continue talking about this. So the first thing is like, how many of you heard about the war in Ukraine? Please show your hands up. Oh my God, it's almost everybody, right? Good. So keep your hands up. Yeah, we can do that. All right, cool. So how about the conflict within yourself? Okay, good. So how about with the dispute somebody you love, right? Okay, great. You can put your hands up. But by now, it's evident that we are all familiar with the conflict, right? The global ones and the interior ones. And I've seen a couple of you guys there, didn't show your hands up, but it's okay, probably from another galaxy. And in that case, welcome my alien friends. It's all good. We are loving you. And but I would like also to touch the question about the war, because I think we are not clear about the definition of the war. What is war? And if you look at the encyclopedia or Google it, you will find it's going to be something like this: perplex, to confuse, to combat, difficulty, conflict, dispute, all of that stuff, right? But the real intention beside the confusion and war, is to bring into the confusion, right? And by the now, I think we are all confused more than ever before, at least by the show of the hands that I can see. Actually, we are so confused that we don't even know that we are confused so much. And I can relate with the confusion, you know. It has been a big part of my life, being confused, trying to find my space and the space between the space. I had disputes with my father, with my family, with the friends, and lately even with the cancer. But one particular event truly changed my life in the way I look at the things. The real war. And I hope nobody will ever have to witness that again. But imagine this. This happened in 92 in Sarajevo, capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. I don't know, maybe you know where it is, maybe you don't. But it's a beautiful town in the former Yugoslavia. So I was 17. It was a beautiful second day of May, Saturday morning. I woke up refreshed, ready to rock. At 17, what else can you do? Going to see my friends at the coffee, our favorite cafeteria, because they are waiting for us there. We're having fun. And everywhere you turn, life is lit. You know, at 17, everything is just bright and beautiful, stunning. Everywhere you look, beautiful girl, beautiful guy, nothing else, right? So I arrived at the place, we took a first sip of coffee, and well, then I heard this thud, this distant sound, this noise far away, and the whistling sound, so catastrophic, ripped through the air. And from the smiles on the faces of my friends, all I've seen was fear, confusion, being lost. And then I heard this catastrophic sound of explosion. Two rockets, they just obliterated two buildings beside us. And yet here I am, stunned, confused. I don't know where I'm going, what's happening. Everything is just in smoke. Fire continues. People not moving on the floor. Blood. Sniper rifles shooting civilians from the shadow vantage points. And that was the first day, only the first day of 1,425 days of this horror. Nobody knew about it. It was in the middle of Europe. This is also known as the Siege of Sarajevo, the longest siege in the history of human mankind, bigger than the one in Stalingrad and Leningrad, the biggest siege of modern warfare. And yet, here we are today, and we ask ourselves the questions now, what can be done to turn this atrocity, this biggest disease of humankind, into opposite? Of course, the answer will be, yeah, peace, peace. But everybody knows here that extreme as the war is in one hand, the peace in another is just a beautiful wish. So then, what do we do? I think, I don't want to say I know because I don't, but I think that the answer lies in acknowledging, first of all, in this space in between, the space where we can all find some solace for self-reflection and asking ourselves real deep, profound questions. Why do we do what we do? And while the war, in one hand, brought me catastrophic events, and the art brought me the most beautiful ones, they led me to discover and rediscover this lost part that I lost in between all this life chaos. So, what can be done? How can we do this? So I thought about this, and I discovered that there's many things that can be done, especially in this space between that we don't know. Through the art I was doing, I started gaining, after the war, of course, I started gaining much more reconnaissance, trust in myself, and optimism. But not just in myself, but in others, mostly in others, because I lost that through the war. And then between the making two brush strokes, I realized also the space in between can be used in a way that I can be comfortable with the silence, the real silence between our ears that we are so uncomfortable with. And then by making mistakes while I was learning a new language of art, putting it on a canvas, I realized that I make better decisions. I have better thinking and the way I want to do the things, not just for my art, but also with the people, and better reflections and decisions that I wanted to do. It helped me a lot. The Westerners, people, us, we really have a difficulty understanding this space in between, this pause. We're always in action. We're always posting, typing, sending, talking. We're like a turkeys, just running around, doing stuff, collecting stuff. More, I want bigger. Everything is here. And then opposite of that is this emptiness, full of possibilities, right? And the Japanese people that are really good at this, they call this ma, this wave tradition of respecting the space in between. So what is the space in between? It's an idea, it's a concept, it's a profound realization. It's a negative space that holds two structural parts, left and right. And without it, there is no left or right to start with. So we need this space in between. And the Japanese people, they have that all around the place. They have it in their talks, especially when they talk, which is extremely uncomfortable. I'm going to come to this. But then they have it in architecture, the painting, the poetry, the design. Everything they do seems like a novel. They say something, you're like, oh, I'm going to make a book out of that. It's crazy. And for us, we are so uncomfortable. Twice I went to this meeting with the Japanese people, and business meeting, and they said something, and everybody was just like staring and super uncomfortable. We didn't know how to handle the silence. We just uncomfortable with it. So there's a couple of steps and things that I would like to talk about. I'm not a big number one, number two, number three. I don't think got confused with that stuff. So, but I would like to talk about purpose. I would like to talk about evenness of mind under the stress. And I would like to talk about also the growth, the expansion. And we always think about growing and expanding. But all of those three things, they are really important to understand what they are, because they cannot exist without this space in between. So the purpose. Between the brush strokes that I do, or I present my work to the people, there's always an intent beside it. And I know it's like, yeah, I was thinking about this now. But the real intent doesn't come from things coming onto the paper, onto the space. The real intent is the meaning behind what we really want to do with this. That's number one. And it's really important to take the space and time to understand that. The second thing is the evenness of mind under a lot of stress. My friend said I have to say that because another word was really complex. So yeah, evenness of mind under stress. What that means? Well, that means that under the grenades and rockets and war that I lived and all these things and the fights within myself, I understood that life thrives in balance. And this balance, I mean, when was the last time somebody, your chakras are out of balance? What it even means? Have you anybody seen lately your chakras? I mean, do you know the color of your chakra? Did you go, oh, look at my chakras out of balance, and you just like put it back? Oh, it's not how it works. What I think it is, this balance that we talk about, it really is that. It's we need to stop. We truly need to stop and ask ourselves like real questions. It's not think about what we want to do and observe the space we're in, right? And we're just collecting. We're not giving a space so we can breathe. And this emptiness full of possibilities about this evenness, this this evenness of mind. It's all about that. It's being in control of this space in between, understanding the balance that without that momentum we're going to take, we will not understand what's happening. And only that, we will understand the melody of life. Because between the notes, there's a space. And because of that space, we have a melody. So we need both parts, the notes and the space in between. And the third one is the growth. And in the growth, everybody wants to grow. But we don't grow in action. We grow when we are in silence. We grow between the two heartbeats. We grow when we read a beautiful book. We grow when we sleep as a kids. We digest when we take a break. So we need to take a break to embrace this smile, this space of emptiness full of possibilities, right? So there's no magic thing about this. This is going to be unique for everybody here. And it's going to take a lot of exploration, and it's going to take a lot of experimentation. It's unique for each one of us. It's not universal. So what can I say? How this can be done? Well, first of all, stop. Take some break. Acknowledge that there is the silence in between the two parts. I'm not making blank. I'm just trying to understand what I'm going to say next, which is taking the space. Take some time with yourself. Schedule it. Decide. Have a desire to be with yourself, in yourself, for yourself. There's nothing selfish about it. It's not like you're taking a selfie every single moment, putting it on your Instagram. It has nothing to do with this. This is you for you in you. But you cannot do this if you do not disconnect from electronics. Let me repeat this. You cannot do this if you don't disconnect from electronics. Really important. Disconnect from electronics. Even though if you want to record me right now, disconnect from it because you're not in the present moment. You know, Anthony Greenback, he said in his book of survival this, he said, to go through impossible situations, you don't need to have a brain of Albert Einstein. You don't need to be strong as a Hercules or to have reflexes of a Grand Prix driver. What you need to know is simply what to do. And this is it. It's not going to be more complex than that. Take the time, take a space, understand that it's there. This call for this journey that you're going to embark on to understand where this space is a truly unique call to be a hero of your own story, to be an author of the bestseller yet to come. But if you don't take this time to understand the space in between, then there is no book, there's no author, there's no story, and there's no hero. And you don't want to be that. Right? That would be a waste of time in life. And to quote this, to finish it, I'll just say one more thing, and I'm done. Start by embracing those profound silences that sculpt the chronicles of our experience that we all here call simply a life, even though our alien friends. Thank you.